Hello, today for review I've got unique and unusual device, and it's unique in many aspects. First of all, it's the really smartly built device because creators, company named Khadas, creators of this desktop digital to analog converter named Tone2 Pro, are really good in modern schematechnics because they managed to put tons of stuff in the small digital to analog converter. It uses ES9038 as a digital to analog converter and OPA 1612 as a op amp. In small case they managed to put the pretty powerful balanced amplification schema. Also, it utilizes XMOS as a USB interface, and that means that it supports high resolutions and DSD up to 512, and also they paid the license, so it supports MQA with triple unfold, so tons of features. They implemented a lot of other interesting stuff that I will cover a bit later. It's the first aspect. Second aspect, it's a pretty good device in terms of design. It's stylish and so on. I will show it to you later. Third aspect is the price. It costs $200 and delivers great value for this price. I will add links to the Hi-Fi Go shop in the description. You can get it there. They are official distributors as far as I know. And fourth aspect, it's a pretty unique device that I was looking for quite a long time. We have a lot of digital to analog converters, like big combos created for the full-size headphones, delivering tons of power and so on. We have a lot of small digital to analog converters with batteries and that dongle style ones that are good for the in-ear monitors. But we don't have the device that was created as a small desktop device without battery, for those who want to use it with a laptop or PC and doesn't need that portability that dongles offer. And for those who don't need the batteries, because I don't like the device with batteries, because you need to take care about charge and so on. So it's a good device. And also what is good here, it plays really well with in-ear monitors, and I was looking for digital to analog converters that is good with in-ear monitors. I have Resonaissance Concero HP, but it's expensive and it's hard to find, but of course it behaves great with in-ear monitors. And I really wonder why no Chinese companies created something like that. But luckily now we've got such device, and probably you are too bored with my talk, so let's have a closer look. Package is small, compact, but actually it's pretty heavy because device inside built like a tank, and we can see interesting stuff here. It's low numbers of total harmonic distortion, good dynamic range, nice crosstalk figures, and we can see that maximum output from the balanced line out is 216 milliwatts for 32 ohms. But what is good here, if I remember specifications right, for the 300 ohms they mentioned 80 ohms. So really good figures. From the single-ended output you will get half of that power, but still pretty good figures. And here mentioned a lot of interesting features. On the back side there is kind of short manual with information about the controls. They are pretty sophisticated here, and probably that's the only thing that requires a bit of improvement, but anyway. So inside you will get warranty card and manual, device itself, and basically regular USB-C cable. So creators are really believing in the modern technologies. So stock cable is just regular plain. Let me pull it out. So it's USB-C to USB-C, so you see that no USB-A here. If you can use USB adapter if you need USB-A, but actually it's a cable created for the modern device. And now you can see the device itself. Its small size is close to the regular credit card, and you know, it's really hard to believe that they managed to put so many technologies inside of this small case. And at the same time it's stylish. I've got red one, also they have black one and kind of bluish. And in terms of design it's interesting, but at the same time pretty strict. It looks like something that Astel & Kern that was designed by Astel & Kern, and probably Astel & Kern was the source of inspiration of creators of this device. And if you think about all that specifications and all the stuff that I mentioned before, you can probably share my excitement. So on this side there are two outputs, regular 3.5mm and balanced Pentacon. You can see that 2.5mm are almost dead. Case is made of metal and it gives additional weight. And bottom part is made of some kind of rubber, so it has a good grip and it stays pretty reliably on the table. It's important for such a small device, and lightweight, of course. Also here is volume knob. You can rotate it and you can click it, so click goes this way, like down. They have a lot of controls related with this clicking. I will show it a bit later. And also here is a LED ring that has different colors, and it's indicator of volume, signal resolution and a lot of other stuff. And on the back side we've got coaxial out. Is it actually out or in? Let's see. Thank you for this nice manual. 1, 2, 0 SPDIF coaxial, so I need to look at the manual, probably is it input or output. And they have a line out and it's dual XLR, but it's unusual, it's balanced XLR. They have special XLRs with 3 contacts, and they can, with the proprietary cable, they can be used as a balanced output to connect it to the balanced digital to analog converter. So nice stuff. And you can use regular XLR RCA here. And they also sold adapter cables and they sold that connector separately. And 2 separate USB inputs. So one is for USB, also it can get power from USB, or second one it's labeled I2S, so probably it's some additional digital input. But also you can connect separate power here, and then it will disconnect from the USB. So if you have, for example, noisy USB port with not proper power, you can use linear power supply. For example, get the Apple's charger, and it will be a good source of clean power. And small additional LED indicator. You can use it actually as a mobile digital to analog converter too, but it's pretty big, but at the same time probably it's usable in this scenario too. But of course main usage here is as a desktop device. Briefly about the controls, so it's probably not really clearly visible, but this LED indicator ring under the knob glows with cyan color. If I rotate it further, it will occupy more space, meaning that volume is higher, so it indicates volume. It's not visible actually when you look at the device usually, so they probably need to put it somewhere else, but looking from the side it's clearly visible. And rotating it to 0 reduces the brightness of this ring, and at the lowest position it will mute the output and it will glow red. Single click works as play pause, so it starts playback or pause the device, playback on the device it's connected to. And with triple clicks you can lock the device, and then when you rotate the volume it will glow here, glow white, showing that the knob is locked. Not sure what is the purpose, but if you use it, for example, with smartphone, maybe it can get some usage. But the most interesting thing is double click. So with double clicks you can activate different controls. So with double click you can navigate tracks, single double click. Then if you rotate forward and backward, you go to next or previous track. Next double click moves you to the gain control, then digital filter. So all that stuff is covered in the good video that Khadas uploaded. I will add link to the description. Control is a bit complicated at first, but when you used to this controls, it's pretty obvious and pretty good. So they managed to put a lot of stuff and create simple controls. And by the way, I forgot to mention one thing. In future they promised to create the Bluetooth module that will connect here to this I2S input, so it will gain also wireless connectivity. And of course, about the sound, for the demonstration purposes I created a simple setup. So FiO M15 is a transport, then DD Hi-Fi USB on the go cable, also DD Hi-Fi adapter, Khadas Tone2 Pro as a digital to-analog converter, and as earphones I will use Unique Melody Mest. Nice, good earphones showing the full potential of this digital to-analog converter. And in terms of sound, it's almost flawless. It's really good sounding device, even comparing with some bigger digital to-analog converters. But for this price and for this small size, it's almost great. And creators managed to balance the sound. You know, usually Saber chips giving a bit of giving a natural sound that it's a bit on the brighter and clinical side. But they paired this digital to-analog converter with OPA 1612 op amps, and it added a bit of weight to the sound, and in result we getting natural but well balanced signature. So low frequencies are deep, they go to the maximum depths, they show really good resolution, really well balanced. It's not trying to go into the micro detalization, over highlighting it, but at the same time resolution is good, also good is texturing, and control is also pretty well. When it's necessary it has a good slam, it has a good impact. The only exception here actually it's the power hungry full size headphones. So it can drive pretty tough cans, but due to lack of a lot of power inside, it powers from the USB-C. It can be not perfect in terms of bass dynamics with full size, with big full, actually not big, with power hungry full size cans. But actually, you know, it's a really rare situation, because with earphones and with headphones with normal sensitivity that vast majority of people use, there is no such issue. Also, if you want to drive some, I don't know, some planars for example with it, you can just connect it to the linear power supply and it will improve the situation, giving additional power, and this will improve the dynamics. So besides that, it's almost perfect, and with sensitive headphones and earphones it's just perfect. Really good balance of resolution and weight, dynamics and all that other stuff. It's absolutely uncolored, so if you use to some kind of worms or vice versa, if you use to some highlighted harmonics, it's not the device for you. It's just natural monitoring, but at the same time not dry, thanks to the proper weight distribution. And as an example of low frequencies, I've got Pain of Salvation, Falling Home, acoustic album that I often use as a reference because bass here is pretty nice and realistic. And Chain Sling is a good song from this album, and this digital tone-up converter plays acoustic bass and drums here with great sense of realism. Mid frequencies are basically the continuation of low frequencies, natural, with good attacks, with good decays, with nice balance between micro and macro, with good resolution but not overdoing it, with good emotions but not artificially highlighting them, with proper weight but without adding additional weight. So really good balance, and once again it's really natural in terms of sound. So if you use to some coloration, it could be also not your choice, but if you okay with natural representation, it will be a really good offer. And at the same time, of course, keep in mind that it's natural but not that clinical and absolutely thin and monitoring sound. And in terms of nitpicking, it's pretty nitpicking device. It requires good records because it doesn't add something to the record, and it means that what you will give, it will output to you. And imaginary stage is above average in width and in depth, not the hugest one, but really good in terms of spaciousness and amount. And as an example for the mid frequencies, I've got, I really hope that I pronounced name of this musician correctly, Sigurður Rögnvaldsson, Dark Forest. It's the name of the project, and it's good avant-garde music. Probably it's some kind of experimental jazz, but I like this album. I like crazy guitars here, I like constantly changing tempo and melody, and this track requires some good technical performance, and this digital tone-up converter delivers it. And treble also really well balanced, above average in terms of extension, not super extended, but definitely above average, and it gives good overtone saturation. Layering, unfortunately, it's really basic, but for this price range it's still a really good result, because usually layering is a subject of more expensive and more fancy devices. It's good in terms of resolution, attacks and decays are realistic, so basically, you know, it's natural, well-balanced treble. It's not trying to hide it, not trying to highlight it. Basically, it's just as is. And as an example, I've got Leïla Martel, Dance Floor, and it's one of the best female vocal recordings in my media library, with a lot of overtones and nuances, and this digital tone-up converter plays it pretty nicely. So to summarize, sound once again, natural, well-balanced device, but not going into the monitoring or clinical representation, almost flawless with sensitive and average sensitive headphones, but for power-hungry cans it can use a bit of additional power. Also, of course, layering is basic, but it's just comparing with more expensive devices. I rarely say such things, but for me this device exceeds its price range noticeably. And speaking about the pairings, actually it's good in driving headphones, especially not the power-hungry ones, and it's really good with in-ear monitors because background noise is really low, and they've managed to create a nice black background here. And speaking about the comparisons, you know, I don't know what devices should I compare it with, because I don't have any other such device. It overperforms typical dongle digital to analog converters, especially with linear power supply added, and of course it beats them hands down in terms of features and that other stuff. And I can probably say that in terms of level, I don't like this word, but anyway, it's somewhere close to the mid-segment dubs with iBasso DX160 or Fios M11 or something like that. It offers same level of sound in terms of resolution, technical and so on. And it's another aspect why Khadas Tone2 is so interesting. So maybe, you know, I'm a bit biased because I really like this device, but Khadas created really unusual digital tonal converter, and I think it worth more attention, and I hope it will get it in the near future. Thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and of course have a nice day.